All right. Make this big so you can see it. I do have networking access to the clients right now, I believe. I hope so. Not, I'll have to start a console section. All right, here we are. What are we going to do first about this DirectFlow client? This client that we want to run DirectFlow on.
I think we want to see if it's already installed first.
Okay, so what might we do to do that?
So RPM-Q PanFS.
We are. Let's uninstall it. I meant to restore this to a snapshot, so it'd be nice and clean. You usually are not going to do this, but I want it to be look at all the stuff it's removing. While it's thinking about that, let's find our port. We're going to go to a little bit bigger. Okay, so where am I going to do hello Pan Assistant? Where are we going to do to find our direct my.panasas.com? Maybe this.
Yeah, go ahead and do that and log in.
tsc.panasas.com. Get my password here. All right, there is my my Panasas. It's showing us right here the PanFS systems, not showing us the training courses. It's not showing us any service request. This is just a dummy account. So what am I going to do to go to the DirectFlow ports?
Go up to downloads.
Okay. Apparently, I'm going to need to increase the size on every page. So are these the DirectFlow ports? What are these? These are the PanFS OS, right? So and you can see we've got various ones. These are the last that are supported, but we have put in some others that are good jumping points up to these points. Okay, so what do I need to do to find DirectFlow?
Click on DirectFlow clients on the left.
Right here? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Note that the most recent one is not on 9.3.3, the most recent release. That's because somebody asked for it on 9.2.0, and I'm not sure why we wrote it, but we did. Here are some Ubuntu ports that we specifically had to write. Here are some SLES 15 that our script didn't submit at all. I need to fix that. But most of the most recent ones are for Ubuntu, which is not at all surprising because we have to write those on request. But that's not, we're not running Ubuntu, so that's not what we want. So let's see if, okay. So now we're finally finished here. What else do we want? Let me make sure that I changed that font. It looks kind of weird. Yeah, okay, that's just what I want. What do we need to do to find out what is the correct port for this client?
So we need to check the kernel version.
And what do we do for that?
Is that, I think that's, is it uname?
You could do uname A. I just do uname. Okay, so we are running this kernel right here. And this is what kind of operating system? To be able to tell just for that. Is this Ubuntu, Debian, SLES, any of those?
Is it SUSE?
I'm sorry?
Is it SUSE?
No.
SLES?
Khalid, do you know?
No. That I don't know.
This is Red Hat. This is Red Hat's naming state. There's actually a command that you can do to report this. You would know what you run. So we don't really go into that. So we want Red Hat Enterprise 8. We're actually running Alma Linux, not Red Hat, but it reports that it is Red Hat because it is binary. Rocky Linux reports that it is running Rocky Linux for some reason, even though it's supposed to be binary compatible. But we know that Rocky Linux is compatible with Red Hat, so we're just going to use Red Hat if we were doing that. Okay, so what do we need to do to find our port?
We need to match the Red Hat kernel.
Okay, and what do we click?
I don't remember what the kernel was. It's
Maybe.
REL.
Maybe we want to search?
Oh, we could search.
Okay, so the release, you can see because this is populated all the way back to PanFS 1. We certainly don't want that. We want 9.3, right? We almost always want the most current one, regardless of what the PanFS version on the realm is. Okay. Then that would pull all the 9.3s. We would be more specific. So what else are we going to do?
OS version.
Well,
Well,
maybe we want to dial down and be more specific here, right?
Oh, okay.
9.3.3. Then what are we going to do here?
Look for Red Hat.
Yeah, you see that we do have an Arch Linux posted, but not very many of it, and it didn't work. So, okay, so are any of these the ones we want?
Red Hat 8.
No, this is the Red Hat 8 from about 15 years ago. We want,
Oh, RH, well, H.
yes, Enterprise. Okay, we probably don't need any keywords. Let's go search. Okay, so this does return the SDK, the apps, and now we are also returning an IB router script that is only needed on clients running IB clients, and this sets the routes. And let's see what we are running. We are running 418, 477 and change. So we actually have quite a few. So our description for that is probably not the best. We need to change our script to put in to say that it's not for the kernel, that is for PanFS apps. But for now, that says that. So, which of these are we going to want for 477?
I don't see a 477. I guess we want 448.
That's correct. Now that is a pretty long way away from it, but if they haven't changed anything, all that works. So I installed this kernel just so I can illustrate upgrade, and this kernel crashed and burned. And this is the one that wouldn't even find it, and we had to write this just for that. So I mean, I did illustrate update in some slides that I didn't even put into the slide deck, but this one wouldn't even install. So you're right, this one is the correct version. It is the highest version. It does not exceed our kernel. And if you're running a modern kernel, you usually will not exceed, there will usually not be ports that exceed your kernel version. And most sites are pretty aggressive about updating their kernels. Well, not all, but a lot are. Okay, so what should we do?
Download.
These are the release notes, and the release notes are the same. Let's just check them out. Here we go. The release notes, they're really pretty skinny now. Release notes are the same for DirectFlow and DirectFlow, so we're going to click download. And there it comes onto my laptop. Now, I'm not going to illustrate getting it from my laptop to the kernel. As a matter of fact, when I did this, I just opened a console connection into one of these clients and downloaded it through the client's browser. If I wanted, I could indeed transfer this to my laptop and make several hops and then SCP it to the realm, but we're not going to waste our time with that. In fact, I already have it in temp, so I can do. There it is. So now what?
So now we want to do RPM -H uppercase U.
Do we?
Uppercase U. Well, aren't we doing an upgrade?
No, there's nothing installed. Remember there
I thought-
was, and I removed it.
Oh, you removed it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, well, let's be sure. I didn't check.
Not installed. Okay.
Yep.
So RPM-HIV and the path /temp and then the file name.
Yep. All right. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
All right. So first of all, I said you didn't have to do this again. I guess we do because we uninstalled it. We wouldn't have to do it on upgrade. What is this telling us to do right here?
We have to run that command,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't remember what it is.
Well, it tells us exactly. And what we're doing is it's going to grab the certificate and put it in its shim layer. And then when we try to load it, it's going to check and make sure that the certificate is the same, that nobody has come in and tampered with that module. Now, it doesn't mean that the module's bad now, but this assumes that you're not installing malware. I mean, if you can't trust the root user, then you're doomed anyway. What this is to do is to make sure that some malware doesn't escalate procedures and change stuff, because unless they're able to break into the shim, and that hasn't been known to do that. Okay, so we're going to run that. Oh, okay. So it prompted us, but it's going to say, you don't need to run it. But it would have asked us for the root password twice. Okay. So I guess it just installed it saw that this was a secure boot kernel and prompted with us, but we don't need to do it. Okay. So now we've got PanFS is installed but not configured, and we kind of want to run it because it's handy. So I'm going to do this. I just happen to have this saved. And in my example, I put in the full path, but so this is going to create something in etcfs tab. What does this A do? Going to make it bootable. The O is going to put this RM list. That means that it's going to be able to mount if any of these rep set members are responsive to it, and there's IP addresses. So here we go. It's going to say, let's put in the IP this time, just for difference. I'll use this one. I'll use this one. Yeah. So it says it started cron D, even though it was already running. It says, we've got some firewalls, and it did all this. And then it says it started this. Then it says your FS tab has been modified, but systemd still uses the old version. Use this command to reload. I need to add that to our screen. Okay, so less script PanFS etc. FS. And let's see what it did. Looky there. It just put this in there. Now it's mounting that IP, but it really doesn't matter because it has this. And so now let's, okay, it's mounted. Okay. It is mounted. Let's CD into PanFS. Looky there. We told it to mount the IP, but it's got the directory there is demo ultra. That's because that's what the realm told it to do. Okay. Looky there. There's our volumes. There's some directories that I created over the weekend. Oh dear. Lots and lots of stuff. I wasn't very creative. Okay, lots and lots of files. This is what I borrowed QA's script to create a whole bunch of stuff. So let's now go back to look. You see that alpha test has a newer version. That's because we created it today. And I created all these earlier. And the time entry is there on the root volume. Note that the client doesn't see any difference at all between these two that are on blade set 2 and set 1. It's one global namespace. These belong to root. Huh. And these belong to the different demo users because my script did that. Let's go into software. Got some stuff there and stuff right there. Let's say we wanted to create something. Of course, it doesn't understand my aliases. Now, if we were to, let's go, this is a different client, this demo 2. Come on. Okay, now, apparently tab complete is not working. Oh, looky there. Are you surprised that A shows up? Got strict client cache coherency. So the file that we created on this client shows up on the other client because it was written to storage. And all the clients see the same thing. All right, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, we will continue with this tomorrow. We will install PanFS apps, and then we will move on.
Thank you.
You're certainly welcome.
And thank you.